Credits. Credits.
All right, good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock, Tuesday, May the 14th, 2024. We're going to start this meeting off with prayer. And I got Brother Danny down here on the end going to say the prayer. He was quiet this morning.
Yeah.
He was saving
Thank you.
himself.
Father, we just want to thank you for the wake-up call today. I ask you, Lord God, be with Brother Tom's family, Lord, as he passed away. Lord, let us conduct ourselves as men of God in this court today. And Lord God, let us make the right decisions. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I'm going to call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I'd like to acknowledge all the guests that are here. I'm going to open the public hearing. We got Miss Barbara from the SBA. She wanted to say a few words.
Hi, everyone. I represent the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience. I'm a public information officer, so government loans for homeowners, renters, businesses, and nonprofit organizations, including places of worship. For home loans, it's up to $500,000 to repair or replace physical damage to your home, and $100,000 for personal property, anything that's inside the home and your primary car. Renters can get that $100,000 for personal property and that primary car. For businesses, we offer up to $2 million to repair or replace for real estate, machinery, equipment, inventory, anything that's affected. And that economic injury disaster loan, which is that working capital to keep that business afloat. So that's why it's there. A lot of businesses realize that 5 months down the line, why didn't I take full advantage of that? They realize that loss. So it's for economic loss. And for nonprofits, it's the same thing for physical damage, up to $2 million, as well as that economic injury disaster loan. So for home loans as low as 2.68%. For businesses as low as 4%, and for nonprofits as low as 3.25%. And then the loans are up to 30 years. That's why it's to help you recover and rebuild. You don't have to take, but that's the maximum. Then basically the physical damage, it is July 1st is physical damage loans. That's a deadline. For economic injuries, January 30th of next year. So they have until then for the businesses and nonprofits. There is a relocation option for the loan, as well as a refinance. If you have a previous mortgage, you can use that low interest rate. You can get that. You can just ask for that when you do go to the centers. As you know, we do have the center at the Trout Creek Fire Department. So it's at, I'll give you the exact address. It's 17400. Sorry to recall. It's Monday through Friday, and it's 9 to 6 p.m. It's 17400 State Highway 87 Hall. So you can go to that, or you can go to the Jasper one, whatever is easier for you. We're here to help, and that's why there's customer service that you can apply. As far as that, you can also, I just wanted to mention, it's for uninsured and underinsured losses. A lot of people don't realize that it's there for. That's the reason why we're here. And I think if you have any other questions, you can also apply online on lending.sba.gov. The centers are closing next week, which is May 24th, which is on our file. So we're there until then, but you can still apply online until July 1st. Yeah. I don't know if you have any other, we have additional funds for mitigation. So an application process, when you do apply, there is, you don't have to check if you do want the mitigation, it's really to prevent for future damage, not just fires or flooding, it's for all hazards. So a lot of people take full advantage of that to prevent for future damage. So like a storm shelter is one example, or anything like that. But as far as there also is a 12-month deferment on loans. So 0% interest, no accrual. So they have a year to not pay interest or anything like that to help them recover. So that's, I don't know if you have any other questions from me. I can get everything all in there.
That's really good. Someone with a pretty high interest rate on their mortgage and their house damage didn't have insurance, flood insurance.
Exactly.
you know, they could pay off their mortgage and fix their house
Exactly.
and then take advantage of the,
And if you are in a flood zone area, you can use the relocation option. A lot of people use that. When I went to stay in Maui, when they had fires, they didn't want to wait for smart rebuilding, they used the relocation option. Yeah, so that's with my experiences with other disasters. I don't know if you have any other questions that you have.
You finance rebuilding roads?
That's for the state. Yeah.
30-year long.
well, thank you, Ms. Barber.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody else set up for public hearing? Hearing back from the clerk's office here?
I'm taking notes for them.
Okay. All right, we'll close the public hearing and we'll move right along to the consent agenda. Can't do anything with minutes from, basically all we can do on this is approve the monthly departmental reports. Accept them. I make a motion to accept the monthly, departmental reports.
All we had was the treasurer's report.
We got the treasurer, the JPs.
Library and all that.
Oh, okay. We got that in our packet, but yeah, but today we was handing the treasurer.
Yeah.
A second.
All right, motion is made by me, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right. We're going to deliberate and consider action on the following items. Item number 1, approve memorandum of understanding with Burke Center regarding continuity of care for Newton County inmates. And that's Sheriff Burger.
Well, Judge, Commissioners, Public. That is a memorandum of understanding with the Burke Center, out of Lufkin, and that is a continuing, item that we, put funds to, because their service our area. At present time, there's probably over 50 people that are clients or patients at the Burke Center, and they're working to establish a clinic here, outpatient clinic here, right down the street, since they closed the one in Jasper, and got the one on Peloton. So this is a continuing effort that we work in a collaborative fashion in trying to find and provide mental services for our citizens of Newton County. Any question?
That 50 you mentioned, that's Newton only or Newton Jasper area?
It's probably over that. That's the number they gave me last year. It's probably more than that. I know over probably a third or more, close to 2/3 of our clients that come to the jail are having mental issues at some level or degree. So, and it's a continuing problem that we're facing, and we're working diligently what society has to offer in the line of mental services. Not nearly enough services, not nearly enough bed space. We in the jail tend to be a holding pattern for people that needs to be in a mental facility, and we are not equipped for that.
How is it working with the Burke Center? Are they
They're
pretty
they're doing-
responsive to our needs? Or?
Yes, they're perceptive, but just to give you a little story, just the other day, we had an individual that had some issues, recommend high level care. But because of his issues, his violent behavior, they couldn't find a place for him. I mean, and the Burke Center works on trying to find those spaces, and that's in Texas. That's just not this local area. It's throughout Texas. If they find a place, we'll take it. And, but again, that did not work last week. We ended up finding another alternative and getting them in the hospital down in St. East. Anyway, we're gonna address those kind of issues. We have a new county, board that we, work on. I think I'm trying to get you on that board. Mental health issues that we face here, just in Newton County. So, it is something that keeps changing, it's ever changing. And at the bottom line, there's not enough money. Not enough space. And they have constraints at their meeting, they have to pay because they lose all their, workers to the private sector because they pay more money. They come there, get experience, and move on. Very frustrating. And it's, for all of us, the professionals as well as the family members, we have to suffer through the, mental crisis.
All right, well, thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding with the Burke Center regarding continuous care for Newton County inmates.
Second.
All right, motion is made by me. Second by Commissioner Fomby. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 2, take action on request for bids for TDA CDB contract CDV 21-0101 for the East Newton Water Supply Water Line Improvement Project. All right, and LJA went out for bids. Did they accept the lowest bid?
Accepted ESCO, very bottom here.
Okay. Or they made a recommendation to, there was 5 bidders on the project and it varied from 213,000 to 450,000. So I think the main deal they went with was time of, well, price and the time for project completion, because we're down to the wire on days completion of the project.
The bid review panel, that's, who was that?
JA did all of it.
It was, Nick, it was,
LJA done all that?
yeah. Yeah, no, it was LJ, it wasn't Nick.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah.
said LJA is the one that handled all the bids and
Yeah.
did the bid opening and all of that, and they're the ones that chose the contractor, correct?
Yes.
And it looks like this was ESCO, and it's 212,471 with a completion date of 45 days with final completion at 75 days.
Landon, what does that
If
consist?
it's got any with less days would have been KC Property with 244,565 with completion date of 35 days with final completion of 50 days. But their bid was a little higher than the ESCO.
So Landon, what does that consist of?
That is replacing the water line from the old water plant in Liberty.
Yeah.
It goes all the way down that long street. Is that 2001,
That's 2031.
2031? And then it also.
So you're talking about behind the gym?
Yes.
Okay.
It goes all the way to the dead end of there.
Okay.
And then we also had an old line that would go from 2031 that cut across an old field to that other little street.
2040.
They're gonna do away with that line because it's bad through there. And they're just gonna go down the side of that next street and cut that out of the woods.
Was it any money to be able to bore to the other side of the road? Remember, we don't have a water line on the other side of that road.
Yes.
There at the cemetery,
I don't know.
across from the gym into the cemetery.
Yeah, he talking about the dirt road that, go right by the water plant.
Oh, I don't think so. Is it Mark?
No.
Yeah.
Here's the bid.
Replace the old.
No, it's just going kind of
Water line there.
right at the end of that road where it ties into that horseshoe road.
I'm just saying there's no water line over.
Yeah.
This is the project, I'm sorry, the project's entirely to replace existing lines.
Okay.
water lines.
And new meters too, right?
Yeah, new meters.
Yeah.
And this contractual timeline will put us back on track with the project. As y'all know, we've been a little bit behind getting engineering done, getting it out for bids. But the completion timeline on this should have us back in good graces with TDA.
So just being new to the court or somewhat new, we shouldn't have a representative involved in this bidding process or the review of bids or anything like that. I'm just curious about that. I mean, is that normal for us not to have anyone involved in the review of the opening of bids?
Whenever we do, when we have with Mark and them, that's the same thing. They handle it. We have a grant.
Well, on construction contracts, that is part of the engineering responsibility. They review all of those documents, ensure everything's in place, ensure all bids are up to standards, all contractors are qualified. Then they make their recommendation to Commissioners Court of who they recommend. It's by all means, a county can review those bids as well and look at them. But it is customary for the engineering firm to review them and make a recommendation.
And do we have a policy that we share on the bidding review process, or is that just, say we use your folks for one? I mean, is it up to you how you manage the review of the bids, or?
We don't review them. It's the engineering.
Engineer,
firm
I'm sorry.
that the county procures.
Yeah.
Over there.
So what you're accustomed to is dealing with GLS on these.
Okay.
They're typically here to present and answer any questions that may be raised by Commissioners Court. This is LJA. They do it a little bit different, which is not uncommon. There again, it's not uncommon for an engineering firm not to be present when they present the recommendation.
So when they had the bid openings, myself, Sherry, Landon,
Missy, were you there?
When they open bid,
Yeah, were you there at the bid meeting? I couldn't.
I don't believe so. I don't believe.
So we did have representation?
yes.
Okay, that's how,
We were, yes.
Is there gonna be any money left over, or is that? If so, then we need to bore that. We need to bore 87.
Maybe.
At least put a line, at least put a casing. I ain't saying put a line in it. I'm just saying put a casing across that road.
There was,
So there's an opportunity there at that cemetery.
I apologize. I've been out there several times. I can't place that cemetery offhand.
It's right across from the water plant. Almost.
It's across 87. There's some woods between the plant and the cemetery, so you wouldn't be able to see it. Now, of course, you can see it from 87.
And then it's on the west side of 87.
Right.
Yeah.
With the time frame we have, once again, that is not environmentally cleared.
Okay.
So the contract's going to be up before we can even get environmental clearance
Okay.
at this point in time.
And just so the court knows, the highest bid on this was 400,942. So that was the lowest. They went with the lowest bidder. They go from
Say the
212.
money, Frank,
Sir,
how much money we have in there?
350.
$350,000.
Once again, if I might interrupt and object, it is required that you go with the lowest bidder unless you have justification not to. Unless in reviewing the bids or the references and so forth, there's an issue, in which case they would present that to Commissioners Court. Otherwise, it is a federal requirement that you go with the lowest qualified bid.
yeah, and that's what I was really driving toward, curious about. Is there a set of guidelines, regardless to who's doing the work, they use the same guidelines when they're reviewing these bids, and we have some assurance that they follow the correct processes before we approve this. That was.
All right, who did you say they awarded it to?
Let's go.
ESCO. All right, I make a motion that we approve LJ's recommendations for ESCO contracting to for the water line improvements for CDV 21-0101 for the East Newton Water Supply.
I'll second.
All right, motion made by me, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 3, approve extension of declaration of disaster for flooding event that occurred on around April 10th, 2024, and amend to include the event that occurred on April 27th, 2024. Basically, we had 2 weather events. We had the first disaster declaration for the flooding that occurred, the winds, the rain, hail, flooding on April the 8th, but then we had a second event. We want to add that one to it because there's another disaster declared by the governor, so we want to amend it to make sure we're covering both disasters.
I'll make that motion. Amend it.
All right, motion is made by Commissioner White,
I second.
second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 4. Approve resolution to recognize May 15th through May 21st, 2024 as National Police Week. Sheriff Burbick.
Oh, yeah. This is, Police Week, and I'm gonna provide some background on what is Police Week. And I'm gonna read a few statements here from my, handout here. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation which designated May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day and the week in which that date falls as Police Week. Every year, tens of thousands of law enforcement officers from around the world convene on Washington, D.C. to participate in the planned event to honor those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice, fallen officers. And it is a very solemn event because I attended it when I was at the FBI Academy years ago. Based on the preliminary data, and this is from last year, submitted and analyzed for the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund, which covers Police Week. Approximately 136 officers, law enforcement officers, died in the line of duty last year in 2023. This is a sizable decrease of approximately 39% from the 224 officers killed in 2022. The decrease in line of duty death from 2023 has occurred most major deaths. Of the 136 officers killed in line of duty in 2023, 47 officers died as a result of gunfire. This year, they're going to add the names of officers that was fallen in line of duty. And those officers' names that they're going to add this year, it's going to contribute to the current 24,067 names that's already on that wall. So, just the time that we sometimes will take it for granted. But again, we run the gunfire. We are positioned to make all sacrifices each and every day in doing our job. Hopefully you are ready to make that proclamation, approve it, and we'll proceed. And there'll be various events around the county in this region, and this is what it's all about.
Any question on anything you want to? Last time you get the opportunity to make this vote.
I'll make it motion.
I second it.
All right, motion is made by Commissioner Fomby, second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor? All against? All right.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Be excused. Intercom people supposed to be here today.
Okay.
Hopefully. Hopefully. Thank you.
All right, item number 5 is approve payment match request from Jasper Newton Public Health District in the amount of $11,599.92 for a new generator. So, they're moving to a new building. They had to have a generator to keep whatever vaccines and medicines they have cold. Well, Jasper County has paid, they were short on their funding for the generator. Jasper County's paid basically $11,600, and they're asking if Newton County will match that to pay for their new generator.
Did they contribute to anything to our generator?
I'm not sure.
I would have to ask that question. 2 years ago, we put one on our building over here.
The total cost.
Our generator was not tied to the, because our generator was not tied to the building back there on a separate plug that would run the vaccine that needed to be cool all the time. And it's sitting outside that building over there.
Yes.
So I would have to ask that question, why that is.
So help me out. This Jasper Newton Public Health District in Jasper.
Yeah.
Do they provide service to Newton County residents?
Yes.
And like you said, the vaccines got to stay cool.
Has to be set up on a totally different system.
And the generator was 80-something thousand. They had, basically all but, like 23,000 of it. So Jasper County paid, basically 11,600, and they wanted to know if Newton County would match it.
What's your thoughts on it, Judge?
You know, if it benefits Newton County citizens, you know, but, you know, it will be, it is in Jasper.
So how does this with the budget? I mean, you know, we set our budget and we put it out there for the public to see, and then it gets very tricky, I would think, when you start spending Newton County tax dollars in Jasper County, even though Newton County residents benefit from those services. So do we do budget amendments? How do we communicate? You know, I just,
You can take it out as contingency fund, but, we have to look at it.
so it wouldn't, so my question is, would it be a full-blown budget amendment, or does he have the money in the contingency fund? So it would be basically a shuffle within his budget. It wouldn't necessarily be
Yeah, line item.
it'd be a line change, not a budget amendment that we would take it from, yeah, okay.
But I mean, it sounds like, are we gonna table it and do some research, or is that what you want?
No, I just mentioned it. I just want everybody to know that I would like to know if they funded anything towards our building over here for that.
The chances are that we didn't approach them with it. You know, and
I
that's,
wasn't here at
that's
the
the
time,
difference.
So you wasn't here. That's right.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
see where it can benefit our county.
It can. We're already doing it anyway.
Yeah, they're doing it anyway.
Just, FYI, whenever we, in these interlocal agreements, do we ever consider the population? That don't come into play. It's just, I mean, they're gonna get twice the use out of it because they triple our population. And so should that be taken under consideration in some way at some times?
It's ratio out the cost.
But I mean, it's a question, something, and it's kind of like, Commissioner Powell was saying, is that, you know, we need to question sometimes, even whoever is making these communications, is question, well,
Basically, the director sent a letter to, do you have a copy of the letter?
Everybody.
Everybody's on the tap.
I believe the reason we got the generator over, I can't remember, it's been too long, but it was because they was closing the one in Buna
Yes, they did close one.
that they was trying.
Well, they're moving buildings over into the Row Elementary.
They needed to.
They're moving from their current location, and there's no generator on site to keep the vaccines going. Well, with the power outages, it's basically a backup for when the power goes out, to keep the vaccines
And thing over here.
safe.
Do you have when I say you, it's coming out of your budget, the judge, do you have the money to do this?
Yes.
But we get our vaccine from them. They give from there to here. But they got more than we got on hand.
And basically, when they come from the state, that's basically a staging area to the different satellite locations.
So the vaccines aren't supplied by Jasper County. They're supplied, and I'm asking, I'm not stating this, they're supplied by the state. They go to Jasper and then we go to Jasper and get ours.
Just like all that COVID vaccine thing.
Or they bring them over here, because they do have an office here in Newton, the health district over there.
So as you're sitting here making a decision whether you spend Newton County tax dollars in Jasper County, you could say, well, if we don't spend them and that shipment comes in and something happens, we could lose our vaccines. That would be, what would happen?
Cause if that lady over there doing her job, they'll be sent right there.
Every time lights goes off now, since they don't have a generator now, but they couldn't replace it in the old building, that building older than I am.
I'm telling you.
That's an old building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what they have to do when the lights goes off, they got to go get the vaccines and move them. In the process of moving them, it's going to heat up.
Well, the thing about the lights going off is typically in an element that you don't want to be out there moving vaccines, just 60-mile-an-hour winds and lightning and everything else. So, I mean, last night you wouldn't have wanted to be moving vaccines at my house.
There's probably just as many people from Newton go to Jasper.
Yeah.
That they do to go over there.
It looks like, per this letter, it looks like Jasper County Commissioners have paid, they've been paying on it for 2 years.
Yes.
$483. So
Basically,
I don't care how much money they pay. What I'm wanting to know is how much did they contribute to Newton County when we did ours? Makes no difference to me. Did they contribute anything to what we had to do? We had to run electrical line, we had to run propane line.
they didn't.
We had to do all that over there to set that generator up over there.
Did Jasper people come here?
Yes. Yes, they did.
it depends on the clinic hours,
According to where the doctor is.
Yes.
So I guess
I'm just saying that's what this letter said.
and I'm trying to look at this as a resident. So if I certainly think it's the right thing to do at a moment's glance. But if we find out that we asked for them to contribute to part of ours back then and they said, no, they couldn't do that, then it may make us look foolish, but I'll just go ahead and be bold enough to say, I'm gonna make the motion that we improve the judge said he has the money. Sounds like we can move it without a full-blown budget amendment. So I'm gonna make the motion that we approve $11,599.92 as part of the payment for new generator to benefit our residents that use the Jasper County facility.
I second that motion.
All right, motion is made by Commissioner Powell, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right. Item number 6. And I think I'm gonna table this one. It's approve engagement letter with Charles Reed and Associates for outside auditing services for fiscal year 2023. We haven't got the letter, but from what Sherry's saying, if he hadn't even started on the 2022, which we need to go out for proposals for a new auditor for 2024. But from what they're saying, they have all the 2020, well, most of the 2023 stuff together.
Yeah, we have most of it together.
But he had-
Everybody has to finish 22. We can't.
He hadn't started on-
23 until 22's, and the same thing happened with 21 when we didn't finish it till November. We had to wait and do all the journal entries after the audit's completed. And then he starts on the next year. Well, he had the stuff from 2022 at the end of the year, but he told Barbara he had several different audits in front of ours. So he's not been able to start on ours as of yet. Hopefully soon. I think he did write a letter to the TDA. Didn't he do that? Have you been
Yes, he did write a letter to TDA, addressing the fact that he would be starting on it soon.
So right now, we're on hold from the TDA on as far as our
And
grant.
then the letter for the engagement letter, the judge's office has not received it for 23. So therefore, we can't bring it to court today until we receive the letter, or he receives the letter for the engagement, to be able to bring it to court, so the court can review it.
We are under contract, right, to
Yes, yes. I mean, we are, that's who, he is gonna do our 23 audit. We're not, I mean, we didn't go out for any kind of proposal in last year for the 23 audit, and we just, the judge's office is just waiting on the engagement letter in court and said, yes, they have not received it.
Well, what engagement letter did you sign previous in the year? I mean, which one did we do?
22.
I'm just not satisfied with him keeping us behind.
But he didn't cause that.
Well,
Who caused that?
well, a lot of the problem, and he will tell you this, a lot of the problems that we had was with all the TDM issues.
Yeah.
Because it slows him down because he has to go back and do all these adjustments when we get the receivables. Just like right now, I mean, he doesn't even know that we've received any more receivables this year. Because every time we receive a receivable, he has to go back and redo all his work.
But, you know,
So
most of them were from 10, 15
it
years.
doesn't matter. He still has to go back and add them to the audit because he claimed that back in those years. He claimed it as revenue coming in. And now it's not, it's going out. So he has to go back and change everything when he writes the book.
court.
Yeah, his report for Newton County. So he explained that to us last year when he came in here in November.
Yeah,
And that's a lot of our issues here.
we won at him pretty good. I mean, he did a good job of defending himself, in my opinion.
Right.
But my question is, as compared to other counties, let's say Jasper, Sabine, those counties, are they as far behind in their yearly audits as we are?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably not.
Okay,
But they're not in the same situation as Newton County. They don't have receivables coming in from TDM and all of that, the issues that we've had.
okay. So the next question is, sounds like you've already answered it, but are we behind because any office in Newton County is not giving this outside auditor what he or she needs to do the audit?
Yeah, now, I'm gonna, our minutes, and I did ask Courtney at the beginning, when he starts on 22, he's gonna need the minutes, the court agenda minutes, all the way up to right now. I mean, he doesn't just need them for 22, he's gonna need them up to this date.
To this day.
I mean, he needs them, I mean, that's just how it is. So that's one of the things that we need to focus on. That's the only thing that I don't have in there for 22 is the court minutes because it's an ongoing and we're gonna need those. And I know KK had told me the last time I spoke to her that she was working on them. And that's one of the things. But other than that, everything he needs for 22 is.
Well, when we say we're working on the minutes, I mean, it's gonna be evergreen. You're gonna be working on it every time we have court, but how close are we to being?
You know, she didn't ask Courtney how far. She said far.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yeah, I think.
so like today,
Paid up to September last year, is that?
And she threw December in there too. We've gotten December.
Yes.
So he's gonna need all the way up, for
Yes,
every
so-
court minutes for all the way up to.
So right now, we
starts.
5 months behind.
You just let the court know, we allowed her to hire a lady to catch her up. Okay? We allowed that.
I think what you're saying is we made it part-time, full-time,
I'm just telling you that we allowed,
right? I mean, that was what we did.
we allowed that to where the minutes would be on time and done.
His court
We
is,
don't even have anybody here today from her office.
are they online?
Angel.
Ask them how far are they, I mean, can you ask them?
And I wasn't trying to put them on the spot. Let me redirect. Is there anything we can do as a court? Is there anything we can do to help be in a position to do our audits as timely as possible? You know, I know the receivables from TDM, we all feel that pain, but
Well, we're hoping, we're hoping that as soon as we finish 22, he can jump on 23, and then those will be done by September and we'll be caught up. That's what that's the plan. That me and Barbara and I have, that's where we're at.
But it sounds like as a court, maybe the next meeting, we need to have a line item to discuss minutes and where we're at and what we can do to get caught up on that. Because it sounds like,
We have to have those
that's the only,
to the date that he does.
so in talking to you, that's the only thing that we don't have right now that he might need. Okay,
Well, it'll be something else.
So right now, we got a table it either way.
right.
Yes.
Well, it'll be something else Sherry don't have too, I can promise you.
What are you talking
Well,
about?
I'm just saying, it'll be something you'll have to go back and get for him. You'll have to find something else for him. It ain't over yet.
Well, he has to, I mean, of course, he hasn't started on the audit. So when he starts on the audit, then he has to come back and he'll say, hey, I need these bills.
Yeah,
He
you
has
just-
to test everything.
and you just don't snap your fingers and prepare
It
it.
takes-
Yeah, it sounds
takes a minute,
easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a minute.
Well, I make a motion, we table item number 6.
A second.
All right, motion is made by Commissioner Benson, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 7, we're gonna table this one, but it's approved payment in the amount of $4,599.71 to Judge Dana Ashmore for damage sustained to her vehicle during a weather event at the sub courthouse on April 7th. And Miss,
Yeah, I'll just fill everybody in right quick. It was a weather event, a wind event down there, and I believe the gate opened, the wind blew the gate open. Really did a number on her
Yeah.
car. I asked her to go get a damage estimate, which is, what she submitted. And I talked to her yesterday, and what she's gonna do, when I agreed and recommended for her to do, was to go ahead and have them start, since that was just an estimate. And then when it's done, to submit an invoice. Because of course, it's estimate, and it's not possible.
And just to add a little bit to that on the specifics of the door, the gate blown open, the latch was broke on the gate. And it was in a position which we thought was secure. We knew it was broke. And the wind, just as she come driving by, it was bad weather, and the wind blew it open. And basically, it blew it into her car as she's driving by. We've since put a new hasp and lock on that gate, so it won't happen again. But, it was really the fault of the counties because the gate was not secured properly. It wasn't anything on Judge Ashmore's part. If it would have been a local resident, we would have to do the same exact thing.
all right, so we're gonna table this one until we get the final bill for repairs done to her car.
Table or no action.
I guess we'll take no action on it. Yeah, once they get in there and do those cameras.
Yeah, 'cause then when we present it again, it'll be.
Be different, yeah.
Okay. Item number 8, approve, application request for unclaimed capital credits received from electric cooperative for allocation back to Newton County through the Texas Comptroller of Public Account. So basically we have credits due back to the county from the electric service providers. So, and that through the Texas Comptroller of Public Account. So we just have to fill out the paperwork to receive the money back to the county. So I need approval for the application request. Motion made by Commissioner Fomby, second by Commissioner Powell. You did second.
Yeah.
All in favor? All against? All right, item number 9, approved purchase of a 2018 Kaufman Model 50T drop trailer in order to transport roller from precinct to precinct in the amount of $36.37 to be divided between all 4 precincts. That's $12,009.09 for each precinct. And that's Philip.
Okay, with all the hard surface roads that we have put in over the last 5 or 6 to 7 years, 7 years now, through the grant programs and whatnot. We have some of the old hard surface roads that have really fallen apart, and we struggled throughout the county trying to repair them. Well, actually, we've been just patching them with some material that don't stay in the, it's hard. You can't patch a hard surface roads unless you actually have the equipment to do it. And we didn't have any. We went out and purchased a roller to repair roads as well as build roads that we spend excess funds on, putting rock in over and over in bad places. And so we have changed our thought process and to the point to where instead of keep patching over patch over patch, where we're going to try and repair some of our roads. And so we agreed a while back and purchased a roller, but we have no way to transport it from one precinct to the other. So we've been out searching for the trailers that was qualified to haul this excessive weight. And we got a double steel roller, which is complicated to try to get it to load on any other kind of trailer. So we found a 52-foot detachment, gooseneck detached trailer with ramps on it so that we could load that roller and transport it. And so I compared a lot of prices. We looked at 15 or 20 trailers, and the ones that we used quite naturally, they were ranging anywhere from $100,000 to $180,000. We found one in Lufkin for $48,000, which was in good shape when we looked at it, and went through an inspection on it, and it's a good trailer. And I was just wondering if we could purchase it for the county, but I'm hoping that all commissioners will help me split the cost. I got pictures on I passed, y'all all have packages with pictures and details and the cost and all of these things.
I just want to throw one thing in. I got a loader down right now, and I can't move it. It's hard to push one up my trailer. It'd be a lot easier for me to load it on a trailer like that. Say your grader tears up, you got to transport it. Be easier trailer to put something that's not working.
From where I'm at, I don't have a truck to pull this trailer. And every time I've asked to have something moved, you guys have been very supportive of that. I'm sure you were with the previous commissioner, even the one before that. So with that in mind, sounds like this is the right thing. I have no doubt. I won't get to use it until later on this summer. But when I get to that point, I'm going to be asking for help to move it.
No problem.
So from a precinct 4 perspective, from the residents, I would I think offering $12,000 for a trailer that you'll use your truck to haul equipment to our benefits is a small price to pay. So I can easily make the motion to approve this agenda item, to purchase this trailer, and say that precinct 4 would pay, would split the cost. I don't know about precinct 3 but I'm in for whoever wants to split. Just, I can't pull it. When it gets to that point, I'll need help.
Yes, I have a truck that will be pretty much designated for the trailer, a haul truck. Been having that for a little while, so it'll be available whenever you need it.
And that's one thing I love about this court. There's not one that won't help the other.
Yeah.
Mr. Bombi tried to help me yesterday, and I appreciate it.
Can you fix my driveway?
I didn't make no headway.
We're on precinct.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Powell. Do I have a second?
I say,
second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor?
Uh,
All right. Item number 10, discuss and consider action on a resolution designating authorized signatures for contractual documents and documents for requesting funds pertaining to the Texas Community Development Block Grant, contract number 24-065-048E530. Basically what that is designating Sherry as a payer. Mark, can you help me out with this one?
Sure, Judge. This is in conjunction with the grant that the county recently received first part of April. This is a GLO required document. Very simple, well, I say similar, exact same document we have to sign with other grants. And this is, once again, authorizing the signature authorities for various things in conjunction with the grant. Whether it's TDA or the General Land Office, when they receive a document, it's not uncommon for them to go back to this document and say, all right, the person that signed this, were they authorized to sign it? So there's two main parts of this. Part of it is the signatures to do with things such as the environmental clearance. That is typically in the situation of a county. It's usually the county judge and county judge pro tem if there is one. The second part has to do with the financial part and the submittal and approving of the draws. That requires 2 signatures. So they do encourage us to have 3 signatures on that. There again, one of those signatures is typically the county judge, county auditor, and then most of the time the county treasurer. And that's what we are recommending in this instance with this document. But once again, this is the commissioner's court saying by resolution, we're authorizing these individuals, I say these individuals. What we put on that is the position. That way, if that position changes as far as the individual, then what we have to do is the signature page, we have to have it re-signed by that individual that fills that position. But it does not have to be presented back to Commissioner's Court for approval again. Is that everything y'all wanted to hear in this one?
Yes. So in our motion, we need to make a motion for have the judge and the judge pro tem authorize signatures for the.
Yes, sir. For the contractual documents themselves,
Okay.
which once again, the main thing on that is the environmental. As y'all know by now, environmental is a big deal with all government agencies.
Yeah.
So basically what they're looking at is whoever signs that has the authority to represent the county in court should it ever be required.
Okay, and then on the payment side, the auditor's office, the auditor, the treasurer,
And the county judge.
and the county
Yes,
judge.
sir. And there again, that as you are aware and Sherry is aware, when those draws are submitted, there has to be at least 2 signatures on that submittal. So they do encourage us to have at least 3. That way if someone's out sick or whatever, we can still obtain those 2 signatures and that draw's not dead required.
Okay. So,
I'll make it.
all right, motion made by Commissioner Fawnin,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 11 is discuss and consider action on a resolution adopting or reaffirming procedures for civil rights, equal opportunity, and fair housing as required for the Texas Community Development Block Grant MIT program, contract number 24-065-048-530. And I'm gonna let you explain that one again.
Heavy on lead.
Yeah, you say it so much better than I can.
Well, there again, Judge, as with all other federal grants, there are certain requirements, and that's what these documents are pertaining to. These are templated documents that we fill in the blanks. They do have to be submitted to the General Land Office in this case. I forgot to tell you, this is also in conjunction with the grant that was previously approved. We have 60 days to get all these documents executed and submitted. This is commonly referred to as the setup documents. And that once that's entered and in the system, that kind of gives you the go ahead to move forward with the project at that point in time. There's quite a few documents there. I don't want to go through everyone in detail, but I'd be more than welcome to, or more than glad to answer any questions any of you may have pertaining to any of these documents.
Question.
I make that motion that we adopt a resolution adopting the permit process for the civil rights. Equal opportunity for fair housing as requested, required by the Texas Community Development Block Grant, NIT program.
All right.
A second.
Motion is made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 12, discuss payback plans for TDM receivables. Update on property liquidation process discussed in previous court. All right, but basically where we're at, I cannot get in, well, they haven't provided it yet in writing to where, and I've asked multiple times, multiple people, to put it in writing to where we could sell those properties that, you know, I've even asked for a list of properties to recoup some of the money back Newton County had to pay. So we're not in the same situation 5 or 10 years from now when they were requesting money paid back for money we already paid back. So far, that's where we're at on the, we haven't paid any more toward our receivables. We're basically waiting on confirmation from TDM to where, or FEMA to where we could sell those properties. And I'm talking about the Bryce property, the Thompson property, the properties, the 7 that we worked on last year, tearing down, cleaning up. So they're kind of quiet about giving us authorization in writing to sell them. So
In that last TDM meeting, my impression was that they continue to say, we think you're gonna be able to do this, but I'm not the person to authorize. That's what I keep hearing. I'm not the one,
yeah,
but they keep.
and right now we're on any money from TDM that's owed back to the county. As long as we owe them money, they're not refunded.
And we also, the judge also received another receivable on Sub Courthouse in Deweyville for
$67,000.
$267,000 on that.
And
that was because of why?
there you go, Mark. Mark's a guru on that.
Once again, just for clarification for everybody, we were not hired to administer that grant, but the judge did ask if we could take a look at it and provide any assistance. Bottom line, what it all boils down to is there were invoices submitted in conjunction with that project that TDM is not allowing. We have requested an itemized list of what those invoices are. At this point in time, we have not received it. It's roughly $400,000 that they said was not allowable expenditures. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's in conjunction with, what it has to do with. We have looked through the TDM system front to back. There's nothing in there referencing it, and we were told they don't place that information in there until the funds are paid back, at which point in time it's resolved and that information will be in the system. We were supposed to have a meeting with them, I believe, yesterday, that due to the weather conditions, they have canceled. Once again, the county has submitted a letter requesting justification for those funds as to what it was that was reduced on that project.
Yeah, basically they reduced the budget, but with no justification on reducing the budget. You know, the original budget, what they paid out originally, well, first they said, well, the rules change and we must miss yours. You know, but they're gonna miss my payment because I don't think we owe it.
And once again, we were not associated with it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think if anything, that project went over the budgeted amount.
It did.
Yeah. So there was more funds expended than what was anticipated for it.
So, anybody got any questions on? Any other questions?
You know, just some comments. So some of these properties, I don't know about the Price properties, but some of these properties currently, even today, have water over the roads going to the property. So just for the court's knowledge, the idea that we're gonna sell these.
Oh, we're not
properties,
gonna get much money for
and
that.
we're gonna get a fraction of what we paid for them, because at the end of the day, the county purchased the property. So as far as TDM giving us permission to sell property that we paid residents for, I don't see what we have to ask for that. I mean,
It's all right.
I don't want, it's just like you brought up before. You know, you wanted authorization to sell, you know, to where they don't come back in 8-10 years, say, hey, you sold that property.
Yeah.
You know, you broke the law. That was flooded by our property. And they change hands, you know, monthly.
Yeah. So
everybody's interpretation is a little different.
Well, it took that long to make a decision about these contracts, 4,000, and the bridges is gonna take a year or two for them to come back to this one.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Because I think the sub courthouse was done in 2019.
Yeah.
That's four.
And it was a fight from day one.
years.
It was a fight from day one.
So the budget was over budget on it. There was some stuff that wasn't finished, and that explains it in the county.
Library, what?
Oh, the general. Ain't no action or nothing there, right?
Yeah, we take no action on that one.
Well, when you said that they're not gonna provide us any assistance,
I mean, if they owe us any money back, just like, Philip was working on a project, buying road materials, and I told him, it was on a TDM grant. And I told him, you know, don't anticipate, you know, getting your money back on the materials. Because any money due back to the county from TDM, as far as projects that we worked on, we will not get refund until the receivables are met.
yeah, I just remember Tim Kidd making the comment that if we have a natural disaster or emergency or something like that, they wouldn't withhold, emergency services because we owe money or something. You're talking more financial support and projects and different things like
Yeah.
that. But emergency services are not gonna withhold.
Yes.
So you saying like these projects on the bridge in 4,002, 4, they're not gonna pay for that?
If it's a TDM project,
That's GLO.
yeah, so that's different.
That's
Yeah,
land off.
thank goodness. Yeah.
So 40, 60 should just be off the books then, 40, 62.
Commissioners, I can't speak for TDM, and the county has had a lot more correspondence with them than we have. Once again, we're procured far at this point in time, these road projects with 4332. They have not officially told, of course, they haven't moved forward with TDM either, but they have not told us that they're not gonna move forward with those projects. And that's basically all I can speak to at this point in time. And Judge, I don't want to speak out of turn, but if I understood what they did, maybe mistakenly emailed me about, this payment plan included that courthouse sub-admin.
That's what they said on that
Yeah,
meeting that day, is the.
yes, and we're,
And that was the first I actually heard about that even being. But the payment plan has not been agreed by the commissioners court. Am I correct by saying that?
You're correct.
Right.
So when is that gonna be presented?
When they give us authorization to sell the property.
And what is,
So we did the first 227,000.
That was a separate, that was a
Yeah,
separate.
that was separate.
That was 1791 Hurricane Ivy. This is all Hurricane Ivy, 42, yeah, Hurricane Ivy, or Harvey,
Harvey,
4266.
don't come up with a new hurricane.
And then, and also the sub, yeah, that's not even good. But also the sub courthouse is a different grant number, but they
Yes.
put it under 4266, and that's when I said, no, I don't think that fell under 4266. That was a different number on that sheet.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't think the Bryce property fell under, I didn't think, I thought we could sell,
4266.
I thought we could sell the Bryce property. I
They've
didn't-
not said anything in writing.
I know, I think in our paperwork, it did not, we didn't, what did it, Stafford Act or something?
Yeah, but didn't the judge's office go back and redo those? Am I right? I thought Crystal went back and.
No.
No.
Not that,
No?
she had to do redo 50-some deed. That was not part of it.
I don't think that has anything to do. I don't know why we're asking them
yeah.
to sell that anyway.
Well, it was brought up in court.
It doesn't matter. It does not, it is not under.
That would be a misdeed.
It is not under, some of those meet the requirements that it cannot be sold, that it has to go
Yeah,
back
some of them
to
do.
original state, habitat the way it is. But some of those properties, like the Bryce property, is not one of those properties. It can be sold. I'll go back to my office and dig out all them papers that Rodney sent us. And there's 2 or 3 of those properties does not meet those strict requirements.
For the Bryce property, the Thompson, they do not have the Stafford Act on
Yeah, I
it.
think both Thompsons,
And I don't know why you won't even think about selling that, because it had,
because they're on that list.
but it had 9 foot of water in it.
Oh,
Don't put somebody else in jeopardy.
Yeah, and I'd like to have it as a dirt pit.
Yeah, I mean, why would you want to ever sell something that you're gonna upset someone else's livelihood?
I think that's a good point. That's something that I've been, the neighbor to the Thompson property asked me if they were gonna sell that property, and we had a long discussion about that, because, we have an obligation with our floodplain management, not to, or to try to minimize, make sure they're at a certain elevation so they don't claim flood insurance. But I told him, in my exact words was, I can't imagine the commissioner's court ever okaying the sale of this property for residential neighborhoods, because it floods, and he would be doing exactly that. I mean, quite honestly, I went in and got these folks and their vehicles out during the first weather event back in April, because the water was coming up so quickly, they was gonna lose their vehicle. And it's right next to the Thompson property, so I don't see us selling that property to someone for residential purposes. Now,
For your use, yeah.
yeah, for a dirt pit or
Yeah.
something like that, absolutely, but even if you tried to sell those properties, you're gonna get fractional. I mean, I can't imagine somebody give you more than $20,000 for all the property together. They're gonna pay taxes on it, and just,
You ain't seen my,
But
you didn't see my new invoice I got about my tax.
I think say tax, that stuff's worth $11,000-$12,000 an acre.
I'm telling
I'm selling everything I own.
you. Yeah.
It don't matter how deep the
Kind of like,
water.
well, I got a lot of stuff for sale. But Misty, we do have all that paperwork in my office that clearly says that.
I just, if at the end of the day, if the court decides to pay back tedium, and I mean, I think ultimately that's gonna end up here, as a vote, right? If the court majority says we're gonna pay them back, I just hope we would really push to make that as long of a time span as possible, and absolutely zero interest. I mean,
But how long did they say you can go, Ronnie?
They didn't want to go, they wanted a year and a half payment.
yeah, well, I think, you got other avenues to pursue, other elected officials to help weigh into that. I know Congressman Babin has been involved to some degree, but I mean, as far as Abbott, maybe a request, sit down with the governor, just give us a 10-year payment plan at least.
They're all like, Well, we tried to give them help, but they wouldn't take it.
I heard those comments as well, but, you know, we can't, the sins of the father can't fall on the kids. So we can't, what happened in the past, we still got to take care of the residents. And if it means going and sitting down with Governor Abbott and saying, hey, you're going to bankrupt this county. You don't want 253 counties, do you? So help us, help ourselves and give us. That's all I ask, is that we do what we can to minimize the impact on a yearly budget. And I'm glad this was put on here. I'd like to see this on here at least once a month or once every 6 weeks or something to keep it in front of us, just so we're all at the same level of understanding.
Yeah.
Rachel, what about the property down there in your neck of the?
Just asking about.
Them 3 acres?
Yeah.
I don't know. Them 3 acres?
Didn't it sell?
I don't know.
It ain't come across my desk.
What?
Well, we voted to sell it.
Yes. Y'all said you had to put it, had put for sale sign on it or something?
Yeah, they went through the realtor.
Yeah,
We didn't okay the price.
yeah, he's going,
Yeah, we did.
I didn't.
well, he never did. We just going
It
to
was
put
a
it for
camp.
sale.
What's that, camp? What county road is that, Christian?
4102. Used to be a youth camp.
Used to be in youth camp now.
And they gave it to the county and this man put a fence around it. It allowed to be. And then he offered to buy it, then we had to put it for through real estate.
I don't know if that was, I don't know.
What was the offering price? Didn't he offer the acre?
And he offered 30,000, if I remember right. Is that right?
Yes.
10,000 acres.
He just couldn't, I mean, he had to go through a process. Who's our realtor?
Ben Hancock.
Okay, so where's all the paperwork?
Well, what I recall was the previous judge was in place, court approved allowing the judge to work with the realtor to sell the properties.
But we did bring it before court to accept his offer.
I didn't, I must not have been here.
We said he was gonna sell it.
We said we was gonna sell it.
We didn't accept his offer.
I don't remember that. I thought we had a discussion about you could sell what you thought, because the court voted that the judge had the authority to work with the realtor to sell to sell properties that he deemed non-essential to the county, which is a good thing, I think. And I thought you were gonna handle it with the realtor.
It is, but it normally goes back to the court.
I don't remember.
But at this time, it's not been sold, right?
It did go back to,
I didn't know it had to go back to the court. I don't know.
I remember us agreeing to sell it. Sure.
well, I can tell you right now, if I was gonna sell county property, it'd run across this table right here. I don't care who was selling it.
I haven't seen nothing. So.
I have to go back and look.
Well, I got out of it because I was understood that they were gonna give it to Hancock.
Yeah.
Then that fella's gonna buy it through him.
I don't know,
That's
maybe.
the last understanding I had, so I backed out.
That was the last scene.
Yeah, it had to go through the realtor.
And the realtor's got to follow certain guidelines, just like we was talking about the bid
It'd have to
approval.
go-
They got to put it on the website for so many days and all those.
But it's been almost a year now.
Yeah, and he'd had to bring it back. He brought it, he had to bring it back to us and I.
Someone need to call him and see. what-
County owns it.
I'll check it.
Who still owns it? Haven't
He's
sold, that's what I mean.
wanting to pay taxes so he can claim it as that law when you put a fence on it for 12 years. That's what he's been doing, running everybody off.
I'm for
Then he
sure.
said instead of fighting, he did cost 30,000 for attorney, he just soon get the county so he get a deed. That's my last understanding of the whole.
Yeah.
Check on that first.
And then we brought it, I remember bringing it before court last year.
Yeah, we voted.
Yeah, we voted.
So we voted to sell it. We voted to give it to Hancock, but that's as far as it went.
I guess.
Because he's using the land.
I mean, Ben would have had.
He's doing everything with it. I went out there and tried to run me off. I said, this county land. He said, no, it's my land. Me and him have, that's when I came to the judge. Said, it's in the county. Deed, I went and got the paid out of our budget. I told the judge I want my money back for doing the process of the deed. When
Right.
it came back, it's Newton County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny had a title search done.
paying taxes don't make it your land.
Yeah, but
No, I'm just saying,
that's what he's trying to do. He's
Yeah.
trying to get it for nothing.
appreciate him paying taxes on it.
But he won't, but nobody won't take it from him.
Well, no, they wouldn't accept,
They wouldn't accept his tax.
no, he never paid taxes on it,
Okay.
so they wouldn't accept it. All right, is there any more? All right, we'll move on to item number 13.
No action on that one.
Yeah, we'll take no action. Just discussion. Item number 13, we'll approve, is approve interlocal agreement between Newton County and Jasper County for road and bridge services. And that's Danny.
Well, me and Mr. Starks, precinct 3 in Jasper, we wanted to do some, this change. He's tilling my roads up, I'm on all material for him, such as that. But we won't make it for the whole county in case somebody else wanted. You looked at it, didn't you?
I did, and I drafted of a form interlocal agreement. I did not understand that if you wanted it for the whole county, I thought it was you and, Mr. Stark, but at the same time, I don't think the one that I drafted, it wasn't a particular, precinct, and it wasn't for any exchange of payment. Nobody was paying the other one, and when I talked to Mr. Stark, you know, he was under the understanding and agreement that whatever y'all exchange would be of even value.
Right.
And so it was just a matter of where we had left it was needing to fill in some blanks about what the services exchanged would be, and we can do that. I can do that after court. If you hadn't already done that, Courtney.
I put road.
Just road and bridge services.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's gonna be general, if we're not gonna do it for a specific thing that you're doing right now, agreement, then yeah, the general wording will be.
Like I say, he's gonna come till some road, I'm on all material for him.
Right. Yeah, see, that's what I understood the agreement to be, but you want the interlocal agreement to kind of be a blanket where y'all can continue to do this, not just this one agreement.
Yeah, not just this one time, at least give me a year, you know.
Well, and I tell you, for me, Commissioner from Jasper County Precinct 4, I have roads nestled in Jasper County. I mean, I say that, you know, you go through Jasper County to get to a branch of roads. And he and I have often talked about, you know, if we could sort out a road, and we're both new to the office, and we talked about it. So this would work if you did the blanket and you could put a timestamp on it and said we could do it going forward. That would help us out, because I could blade a road for him, he could blade a road for me, that type of thing. Not your road, Sheriff.
We ain't going guns, look.
We ain't.
Hey, my commissioner, I gotta get in the pad, he's gonna do it.
And Dennis? Oh, yeah, I love Dennis.
I'll make that motion.
All right. Motion is made by Commissioner Bombi,
I second.
second by Commissioner Powell. All in favor? All against? All right, item number 14. Have we have any budget amendments, Sheriff? All right,
Now, so just for clarity, he's moving money from contingency to cover that 12,000. So it's a line item, so it's not a budget amendment.
Yes.
Okay,
Budget amendments when you're having to pull money from it and you gotta add money to the budget. He's moving it
okay.
within the budget. I mean, you can bring it to court, but it doesn't have to.
Okay. No, I don't want to do anything.
all right,
Okay,
item,
so I've got a couple of things that aren't on the bill pay, but I need to cut checks for. One is gonna be the trailer that was today. So I want all of you signed it, and I want to get approval that I can cut a check, that we can cut a check for this. Okay, another one is for the DB's Texas Insurance Fund, that was budgeted for our workers' comp. We need to pay them as well, and we're gonna send that tomorrow, and I want the court to approve that. It's something that's in the budget and a line item for workers' comp. And now we'll start with the bills. General fund, $158,032.46. District Attorney State Fund, $32.94. Road and Bridge General, $124,602.29. That money right there for the Road and Bridge General will be moved from debt services to pay for your equipment that was in debt. It's in debt services, so basically it just reimburses that from one line to the other. Road and Bridge Precinct 1, $276.92. Road and Bridge Precinct 2, $358.08. Road and Bridge Precinct 3, $303.24. Road and Bridge Precinct 4, $967.58. VAW grant, $65.25. Commissioner Special Precinct 1, $17,625.49. Commissioner Special Precinct 2, $97.58. Commissioner Special Precinct 3, $17,549.18. Commissioner Special Precinct 4, $31,882. Dedicated Road Precinct 2, $21,632. Dedicated Road Precinct 3, $13,738.38. Record Preservation, $48.90. Solid Waste Disposal, $11,783.25. Voter Registration, $779.46. Newton County Library, $1,629.71. Historical Operating, $2,575.54. Courthouse Emergency Grant, $108,235.96. That is also reimbursable, that we will get that 100% paid back. Grants, $325. Total all funds, $563,460.03.
You know, just for the record, if you look at the precincts, the commissioners, they spent over $150,000 on this bill pay. And that's storm-related money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit of, that's rock that was put in so people could get back home that washed out 12 days later.
Cover.
And that's got to go right back and be done again. So that's for those viewing online that we don't know.
The third one.
And that one you've got to sign.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're out of money.
Yeah.
And then the hurricane hits.
Then the hurricane.
Oh, let's hope not. 24
Yeah.
predicted.
Well, I make the motion, we pay the bills.
I second that motion.
Motion made by
They got
Commissioner
5
Henson,
for us or something like that.
second by Commissioner Powell, all in favor?
My husband.
Up then. I know he had all these major.
And I'm just afraid we couldn't.
All right,
do
I
it.
need a motion from the left
So
side.
who opposed? You say who opposed?
Oh, all opposed?
Make the motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Hey, the, ECQ.
We adjourn?
Yeah.
Okay.